Good morning, Tahmina Khan is here in TKMaths is fun. In today's video, we will solve a question on composite function in context of domain and range. And this question is taken from March 19, variant 1-2. So let's start solving a question. First part of the question is about converting the quadratic expression in the form of completing square, which is x plus a whole square plus b. So this part I have done here because I believe everybody knows how to do it. And in case if you don't know, let me tell you quickly here. You have x square minus 4x plus 7. The technique is the coefficient of x power 1, whatever is here, half it, okay, half it and write it down here like I have written here, and then square overall. So after that you will just minus the same power which you have half it here. So it was 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 2 square is 4 plus 7. I hope you understood. For the completing square form, you take the coefficient of x power 1, half it, square it. So half it and then square it with x minus 1 and minus 4 plus 7. So after that, you have gotten the completing square form of the function. State the largest value of k for which the function is a decreasing function. Which function? This function is talking about f of x. Now you can see this is a quadratic formula, right? And the shape of the graph is parabola. And the coefficient of x square is 1. It means it is a minimum value curve. I have done a sketching here for you roughly. Whenever you get a completing square form, immediately you know the turning point. So the turning point of the curve is 2, 3. This part of the curve, the shape or the flow of the curve has a positive gradient. We know from coordinate geometry topic, line like this has positive gradient and like this has a negative gradient. So this positive part is called increasing function, and the other part which is like this, which has a negative gradient, is called decreasing function. Now question is saying what is the largest value of k? So if I look at this part of the curve till here, this is the largest value of x for which the curve has a decreasing function, because otherwise all the values of x are less than 2 on this part of the curve, right? So this is the largest value. So I can say for part 2 that k is equals to 2 for the decreasing function. Now question is saying take the value of k as 1. It means here it was saying what is the value of k. So now you take x less than 1. So let's see the graph here again. Give me a second so that I can write it here clearly. Okay. So now I have to take the value of x as 1. The curve was at 2, 3. 1, 2, and suppose 3 is here. The curve was something like this. Okay. Little curve from here. Now I have to take the value of x less than 1. So 1 is somewhere here. Substitute this value of 1 in the function and let's see the corresponding value of y. 1 minus 2 is minus 1. Minus 1 square is 1 plus 3 is 4. It means at 1 you will get 4. And what are the rest of the values? Less than 1. Less than 1 mean the part of the curve you're talking about now is this one, because x less than 1 will give you this part of the curve. So if question is saying after that in part 3, expression for f inverse x. So how can you find out f inverse x? You know, very simple. You will put this f of x equals to y, the same function, this one, and then make x a subject. After making x a subject, replace x by y and y by x. On what basis I have taken this negative sign? when I got plus minus both in the square root? The shortcut, because students find it difficult to understand, the best way is to see what is the sign of the domain. It is less, so take minus sign. If it is more, take plus sign. This is the quick way to figure it out. Now I have found the inverse function, and now I have to find the domain of the inverse function. Now remember, the domain of the inverse function is what? Is the range of the function, because function in inverse function has function has whatever domain, it will be the range of the inverse function. We know that thing, right? Similarly, if question is saying what is the domain of inverse function, that will be the range of the function. So we already have seen the range of the function is greater than 4. We have just seen it here when I was explaining it to you. For x less than 1, the values of y are all greater than 4. You can see here the values of y on this part of the curve are greater than 4. So I can say the range or the f of x is greater than 4. So this will be the domain of the inverse function, right? You don't need to do anything. You are just saying that because it is that, so it is understood thing. Last part of the question. The function g of x is given to you, and now the domain is given to you x greater than 1. You have to find the expression for g of f of x first of all. So let's do that part first. G of f of x means the function f will go inside g. And what is my function f? I have written here again, this is my function f. So this function will go here in place of x. You can see here I have written here this part, right? So I got this expression. Now we have to find out the range of g of x. Now please again remember, whatever will be the range of this, that will become the domain of g, and then you can get the range of g. So same thing I have written here. To find out the range of g of f, first find the range of f of x, that will become the domain of g. Okay, so we already have the range of f. What is the range of f we have? We have written here range of f, yes, greater than 4. We have found in the above part with the help of this diagram. This will become your domain for g, because you are finding out this question. It will go inside it. So now what will happen? One thing I would like to tell you here, please remember, because this question is asked at times, okay, is the composite function existing or not? So how do you decide that? The function f of x has range greater than 4, which is the domain for g. What is the domain of g actually given to you in the question? This is what is given to you. And what you are getting? X greater than 4. So x greater than 4 fully lies within this domain. And that's why the composite function g of f exists. So now to find it out, I will just substitute values of x greater than 4 in function g, because this is my domain for function g now. So I will substitute x greater than 4. Let me show you here. In function g I have put 4 here. What is the answer? 2 upon 3. Now if you will put greater values of x here, automatically the values of y will keep decreasing and will approach towards 0. So this is the highest value and the lowest value are going towards 0, and this is how you decide the range of your function g of f. With the help of graph also I have tried to explain to you. This is the part of the curve you will get as f increases. So all the values of y will be in between this. So I hope you understood this question. Please press like and subscribe button if you really like it, and share it with your friends. If you will subscribe, the more videos on composite function domain I'm making, because I have 7 to 8 questions, so you will get the indication immediately. Take care. Allah Hafiz.